Hello and welcome to the Select Board update for the meeting that happened on Wednesday, May 20th. We started at 6 p.m. Via Zoom. We are still doing those. Our first part of the meeting was a town council evaluation. Each Select Board member fills out an evaluation for our town council. The Select Board Chair, Steve Mitchell, compiles those and then discusses with Michael Herbert and with Lisa Mead, the lead of our town council company. We are very happy with what our town council is doing. Lisa Mead also gave us an update on all the projects and all the legal work that they've been doing in the past year for Ashland. So if you want to get that whole list, you can watch that segment of the meeting. We will be actually appointing or taking a vote to reappoint them at our meeting in June. From there, we had an update and discussion with Ed Berman and Doug Small from our Roadway Traffic Safety Committee. They're looking at making two changes here in Ashland. The first one we discussed was changing the speed limit on Myrtle Street. It is currently 30 miles an hour. But as with many streets, people are doing 35 and 40 and even 50 and 60 based on the testing and the analysis that was done of the roadway. So as a select board, we are the road commissioners. We voted to turn Myrtle Street to 25 miles per hour for the full length from the Framingham Town line all the way into downtown. This will probably go into effect in about 3 or 4 weeks because it takes time to get the signs up and get everything in place. What this will do is it will continue the speed limit. It's 25 in Framingham, and they had seen that there was a reduction in accidents on their small portion, so we are hoping for the same here in Ashland. The other discussion, and this included Doug Small, our Public Works Director, adding a stop sign at the intersection of Elliott and Fruit. So currently there's only one stop sign at that intersection, and that is for the drivers coming up from Fruit Street and hitting Elliott Street. This new stop sign will be placed if you are driving on Elliott Street from Prospect Street towards Shaw's. There will be a new stop sign there. We looked at making it a three-way stop sign, but unfortunately, because fire trucks come up from Cedar Street, that would not be possible because if cars were stopped there, it would be difficult for the fire trucks to come through. There was discussion also about the pedestrian safety for that intersection. And that particular intersection, the Fruit Street Elliott, is being done through our Complete Streets program. We get a Complete Streets grant from the state where we can analyze and then update certain pedestrian areas to make them safer and make the street safer. So if you've seen other improvements on Fruit Street, some of the new ramps for handicap access, that is all due to the Complete Streets process. It's a 5-year plan, then every year we will apply for a grant to the state to get more money for that. From there, we had an update from the town manager on COVID-19 and the reopening plans. So as of May 25th, checking my date here, May 25th, parks and open space will be open to all here in Ashland. Of course, there will be guidelines in regards to wearing masks, public distancing, no official sporting goods, and no large gatherings. But those will all be open. We then had an update on the farmers market. It is coming back this year. It is going to be at its regular location. It will be starting on Saturday, June 13th. Of course, as with everything else, they've had to revise some of their plans to coordinate and make sure they're keeping people safe. Unfortunately, there will be no live music, there will be no seating areas, there will be no eating at the farmers market. Many of our favorite vendors are coming back, many of our favorite food vendors, and of course the farms that come. The full plans and the information will be available through our website, through the Select Board website, and also at the farmers market website. And as part of our discussion, we did approve 2 season licenses for some of their wine resellers that come to the farmers market. The next part of our meeting was an update and presentation on the report by Dr. Liz Stanton. We hired Dr. Stanton to review our claim against Eversource and their need for a pipeline. The full report will be available after our next meeting, plus some of it, the draft is already up if you'd like to go and read the report. She basically puts forward 3 facts disputing Eversource's need for the pipeline. As a select board, we will be approving the final report at our next meeting and then determining how or if we can use this as we fight or try to fight the Eversource pipeline through Ashland. We then had a presentation from Betsy Emberly regarding little libraries. If you remember, down at the corner spot, there is a little library. Also, a number of years ago here and Around the Clock, we were able to share a story with you about a little library done in a neighborhood. This is a way for the Friends of the Ashland Library to get some of their books that have been donated out to people's hands because the library is not open yet. We will be getting a more detailed presentation at our next meeting. But basically, we will see little libraries pop up by town hall, the community center, possibly even outside the main library, and if potential other locations, so that you don't have to go to the library. If you don't have a book that you want to read, you can go in, take a book, and swap a book out. And of course, with that, there's also discussion about how do we keep people safe and keep the books clean and wipes and things like that, all to make sure people are safe and comfortable using these little libraries. From there, we went into our old and new business, and we discussed and voted. We voted to close and post the annual town meeting warrant. There are only 5 articles on the town meeting warrant, all budget and finance related, and the details are available on the website. We also voted and to post the election ballot. So that is available, and that election is happening on Wednesday, June 24th. Also, so people are aware, you can vote by mail. If you go to the Ashland, Mass website, there's information on how to email in or apply to get a ballot mailed out to you and the timing of when those need to be back. We then accepted various grants related to COVID-19, some money from various health foundations, some donations to our food pantry, donations to our town forest, and then we had 2 grants that we came in. One was Community Compact Housing Grant from the state for $40,000. And that is going to help us update our affordable housing production plan. By updating that plan, we are hoping to then continue to keep ourselves safe from 40B. That plan, our current plan, expires in 2021. We also were given $10,000 to do work on inclusionary zoning, so that we can look at some of our zoning downtown and make sure it is more inclusive of various types of housing. From there, we were able to waive the annual license fee for WACA-TV. They apply for and have to get a common victicular license, but since they don't really sell food, we were able to waive that. We accepted the minutes from our May 6th regular session. We also discussed a headstone for Dax. As many of you are aware, Dax, our canine officer, was put to rest last week, and there was a great procession through town in honor of Dax. The Board of Selectmen have voted to pay for a headstone for Dax at the Alberini property, and also then to match that and put a memorial stone in front of our police department for the many years of service that Dax gave to the Ashland Police Department and to the community of Ashland. We have pushed out our board reorg until after the election, so that'll be happening in July. We had an update, rail transit district, not too much going there now. We did get some great news on our downtown Riverwalk project. If you've been driving by Mill Pond, you've seen our public works people with some assistance from outside contractors creating the ramp and that park. We are hoping to have it open by the middle of June.
We're going to keep them closed.
We then also discussed work on the public safety building. They are doing an HVAC meeting.
Oh, no, I
and vote.
as long as they
and Ed, we can hear you. The fun with Zoom, you get bombed by your own guests. Public safety building, they're having a meeting and discussing the options for their HVAC, update on the Warren District and the Valentine Estates. The Valentine Estate, they are still having some meetings about what's going to happen there. The Warren District, the Hall House, we are close to having a decision and a contractor who's going to come in and rebuild that to replicate its historic view and historic shape. We then discussed the voting process for 2020 election, and we are supporting town manager in writing a letter to the Congress in support of the current stimulus package. So the House has already passed that, and we are hoping for the Senate at the federal level to do The same. It was a long night, lots of discussion about Liz Stanton and the Eversource project. It's always great to have citizen participation, and we appreciate that, and we hope that you all continue coming and joining us on our Zoom Select Board meetings. And that's the wrap up for the Select Board meeting that happened on Wednesday, May 20th.